Well, 11 companies operating in West Africa have called on the international community to step up the fight against Ebola. One of them was the giant steelmaker ArcelorMittal. Kleber is the Executive Vice President at ArcelorMittal for iron ore mining operations, and he joins us now live in our London studio. Starting out with what we were just hearing there from Rosie Tompkins at that company that makes these biohazard suits, you've actually had to buy more of them, haven't you, to try and contain the spread and treat people? Yeah,
we buy all the PPEs in order to put in our hospitals to eventually the case that they can have all this, and also in our cooperation with the government. We are supplying the government hospitals also with PPE there in the region that we operate.
So for your iron ore mining operations in West Africa that are focused, I understand, largely in Liberia, which has been so badly affected by the disease, you've had to be buying more of these kind of suits. Have you had any cases of Ebola? How many have you been affected by?
Inside our concession, we have not had any case so far. We had one case in the beginning, but it was a case outside the concession, and we put out the preventive measure, checking the thermal scanning, protect ourselves, hygiene, and until now we have there 4,724 people working safely without any case in our concession. And they spread air from the mine, railroad and port.
But nevertheless, you must be very concerned here because people are working close to each other, they're living close to each other in these conditions, and as you said, they're loading the iron ore onto ships at ports, and again, that's where this disease could well spread from.
Yes, exactly. We are very worried, and that's why we put a lot of preventive measures in place. Any place that you go at the mine, your temperature is checking, and if it is above 37.4, you go to the process in order to have an interview, in order to understand the reasons and to take the actions. Okay, it means this. We are trying to put our people as safe and healthy as possible with the screening process and the controls in our concessions.
And because the endemic nature of malaria in this part of the world, that just confounds the issue because some of the screening processes aren't quite as effective for purely Ebola as they might be because they bring up cases of malaria instead. You're one of 11 companies that have put your name to this letter that emerged about 3 weeks ago, urging the international community to end things like travel bans. Now we have increased screening and not outright travel bans. The disease is spreading. Do you still stand by that initiative to try and end these travel bans?
I think it's very important to maintain the travels. It's very important to restart it because we put the controls in place. That the person before going, I was in Liberia. I just came from Liberia. I was screening the questionnaire, your temperature checking, but we cannot isolate it. We have to have communication. Have to have the traveler to keep the country. The countries face enormous pressure, and if we cut the air service, it would be further pressure in the country, further pressure in the economy, and it's not good. That's why we should have the procedures or the screening in place, but maintain and incentivize the companies that pull out to come back again because the country needs.
So that the companies on the front line can also help to try and contain the fight there on the ground before people get on planes. Kleber, thank you very much for joining us there, the Executive Vice President for Iron Ore Mining at the steel giant ArcelorMittal. Thanks for coming on the show.